Good morning. You know, my thoughts are all over the place this morning as I meditate and ponder lots of things. As I said, they're all over the place on my daughter's birthday. The title that I've selected, finally, after sitting for a good while at the computer, is What Am I Going to Do About It? Like almost everyone else in this world of the illusion of separation, I see what goes on around me in the world of effects. As one that also looks for the deeper meaning of those effects, I seek the cause. I realize that things don't just happen. They happen for reasons. Consciousness continues to inform me that my judgments, thoughts, feelings, and actions in regard to these things that I see also influences what I am seeing. The observer is not independent and separate at all, but rather an intricate part of what is observed. This is scientific reality. It is also mystical truth. Knowing this, the question arises, what am I going to do about it? About the world in which I experience life? The question keeps coming back to me as I observe and as I ponder. Which is the reality, the inner world or the outer world? Some people would instantly answer, the outer world. These are the people that have not seen, in my opinion, the bigger picture. They look at only that which is manifested, and they don't look for anything beyond that. The person who has delved deeper would say, no, the inner world is the real world. I want to suggest to you that both of them are the real world. There is no separation between the inner and the outer, not really. In fact, there is no separation between this and that, not really, which is why when Moses approached the burning bush and heard the voice speak from the burning bush, the myth, the legend, the revelation, whatever you want to see that as. And Moses asked, Who are you? I am that. I am. It is what it is. Everything is what it is, whether it's inner, outer, and all of these things that we use to distinguish this from that is inadequate. It's all inadequate. It's all a definition that doesn't capture the whole thing. The whole thing is this is that, even if it looks exactly the opposite. Embrace the paradox. Everything is interconnected. That's the message. So as I struggle for justice in my individual life, it's not just about the courts or the judges or the attorneys or the government or the things that I see out there. I have an effect on them. And in fact, what is happening out there in the world that I observe, shall I say the world that we observe, is a reflection of the world that's inside of us. It's a reflection of the collective awareness and the collective consciousness of humanity. I almost was tempted to put, what are we going to do about it? But I realized there is no we. You say, Ron, that's crazy. No. No. There's only I. I am is all that is. Each of us is I am. Each one of us is the one that we've been waiting for to change our lives. Or, to be more specific, I am the one I have been waiting for to change my life. It's the only thing that I can actually change. It's the only thing that I can actually influence is my life. I can't really change everything that happens with everybody else around me, but I can influence everybody else around me when I'm willing to take responsibility for me and my life, and especially for me and how I observe things, because I always observe things through my vantage point, through my belief system, through my judgments, my thoughts, and my feelings, and yes, my actions. Dr. Mario used to say it's thought plus feeling plus action equals demonstration. I probably messed that up, but something like that. And that's a science of mind principle, taught by Ernest Holmes and others in Unity and the Science of Mind school of religious or spiritual thought. We are responsible for especially our reaction and or our responses to life as it unfolds for each of us. And it is always I. I can't do your thing, nor can you do my thing. We can recognize that I can recognize that I am a part of you, and that you are a part of me, and that we each reflect parts of each other that we may not be aware is actually in us. That's why we do the love line, because just staring into someone's eyes without conversation, just allowing whatever thoughts and feelings come up, is a very deeply intimate experience of the soul, showing aspects of you. You may look at someone's eyes and think you see fear. Well, of course you don't see fear because fear is invisible. But you can see responses in the individual reflected in their eyes of anxiety and concern and fear. You can see that. You can sense it. You can be aware of it. Or anger, or hurt, or sadness, or love, or joy, or just a sense of peace. You can sense all of those things, especially when you've gotten to the point where you begin to recognize that all of this whole big range of emotions is in you, is in me, is in each one of us, and I am the one that's responsible for what I am going to do with it. What am I going to do about this revelation? That I am the responsible one. I am able to respond to it all, to everything. I am responsible. I have the ability to respond, and by a certain, whichever way I respond is going to produce a result. The cause is the thought. The cause is the belief system. You believe you live in a world where Satan is always fighting God? Guess what you're going to see? You're going to see substantiation or verification of your belief because that's what you're looking for. And it's not what you're looking at, it's what you're looking for. And whatever you seek, you will find. Whatever you ask for, you will receive. You are the one. I am the one. Do you understand? This is what Spirit's trying to get me to continue to look at, because I forget. I forget, and I move back into judgment, and then I wonder, well, why isn't this going right? I've moved back into judgment. I'm getting what I'm seeking. I'm getting what I'm asking for. I'm getting verification, validation for my belief. Ah, is that really the way it works, Ron? Is this really the truth? Is this reality? Or is it some crazy figment of my imagination? I'll bet you there's a lot of answers coming from people that are listening. A lot of answers. What are your answers? Not about me. It's not about me. I just am the catalyst asking the questions. What about you? What about the things in your life? How are you contributing to the very things that you say you don't like, but continue to see manifested week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, decade in, decade out, whatever it may be? You're seeing the same thing over and over again. Wherever you go, there you are. You think you got to change the people or change the environment or change the this or that about it. But wherever you go, there you are. And you're always coloring your reality. So am I. It's the way it works. Like it or not, that's the world that we live in. It's a holographic world where what we see is a result of what is not seen. It's always preceded by the thoughts and the feelings that lead us to the actions that create the world around us. What's happening in 2012 is we're becoming more aware of the things that I'm sharing with you today. More and more people are doing that. What we call the dark forces have always known that they had great influence on the world around them. And because they believed that, they did have great influence on the world around them. And they were and have been able to create a world that is inside out and upside down that serves them. But each of our worlds serve us in manifesting that which is our concept of ourself. If our concept of ourself is a victim, our world will manifest our victimhood. And that's the other aspect of the dark side. They're both dark sides, even when it's the light side pretending, even when it's the dark side pretending to be light, as in the Illuminati, or as in those of us that point fingers at the Illuminati and say, we're the light workers and they're the dark workers. No, we're all light, dark workers. I am a light and a dark worker. Oh, it's hard to admit that sometimes, but it's true. Everything that's happening out there is also in here, because that's the nature of reality. When we get that and start taking responsibility for holding on to beliefs and judgments and becoming willing to release beliefs and judgments that no longer serve us, we'll change the world. One soul at a time, and all of the circumstances surrounding that world, that individual, will be transformed. And the thing that does this is love. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to learn to love. I'm going to continue to remind myself that my job here is to love one another. and to love my neighbor as myself, and to love God. And who is God? God is all that is. God is the manifesting force. God is the power of creation. God is all that is. The light and the dark, the good and the evil, all that is. All that is. Because it's all simply manifestation. What are you going to do about it? If you see yourself as separate, that will be how it appears. But I'm telling you, if you can accept it, there's nothing separate from you, from me, or from anyone. That we are all interconnected, and each of us, as I said earlier, is the one that we've been waiting for. Each one in our own life. We've been waiting to wake up and to remember that we are the cause and we experience the effect. Thank you for listening. May you be blessed throughout this weekend. Namaste.